Welcome students and learners. In this video, I'll be walking you through some basic applications of Figma's pen tool. Learning this awesome tool will set you up for success as you build up skills in your designer's toolbox. I'm David, a middle school graphic design teacher. Let's get going. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to figma.com/community. In the search bar, go ahead and type in Learn Figma's pen tool. You'll see a pink thumbnail. That's the one you want by Tall Mr. Curran. Get yourself a copy and you will see something that looks like this. And this is like a full-on digital lesson, kind of like a little digital classroom. There's a couple things I'm going to slightly gloss over in here just for time's sake. So over here, if you zoom on into the lesson portion of this template, you'll see there's a lesson with some descriptions, and the video right here is the video you're watching. There's some examples of some awesome things you could make, and there's even a little warm-up if you want to get slightly comfortable with starting something pretty basic. There are a few ways to access Figma's pen tool. The first thing you could do is go to the top left of your control panel, click on Drawing Tools, and you could select the pen tool. You can also just simply click on the P for a keyboard shortcut, and there you go. Now that I have the pen tool selected, I'm going to zoom on into that first shape. I'm going to encourage you to start wherever that pink circle is, and then go from there. When I left click with my pen tool activated, you'll see that that is my starting point and I can move around in any direction from that origin. But I don't want to move around in just any direction. I would like for this to snap in 45-degree increments to make those perfect angles for my square. So to do that, hold down Shift, and now you'll see that my pen tool snaps in 45-degree increments. Let's go ahead and move on over to the right, then hold and click, left click. Let's move on down, left click. Let's go ahead and move again. You'll see that red line appear, left click. And let's go ahead and close that shape and left click one more time. You'll see that I have changed my stroke width to be 5. That's just so that I can see where the shape I'm creating is on top of that one that I'm tracing. Let's go ahead and I can even just click in here, type in 5, hit enter, and we're good to go. Wait, I lied. We're actually not good to go at all. I missed something very crucial and very important as you're creating vector paths to make shapes. You definitely need to, when you're making shapes with the pen tool, click done up here in the top left before you go on to the next shape. If you don't, you're going to be in big trouble and run into a lot of issues by creating multiple shapes within the same vector path, which you're not trying to do right now. So just make sure, please, you click done between each shape. If you remember your 4th grade geometry, you'll recognize that this equilateral triangle definitely does not snap in 45 or follow 45-degree angles. You're going to have to freehand it by just clicking around, and here we go. You'll see that a pen tool shape is going to close when that dot appears at the base of the pen tool icon. Click done. Let's go ahead and move on to our next one. I'm going to type in P, start up here. Let's go down again, not 45-degree increments. And you'll see that when I go to this next vector point right here, there's that red line that appears just to show me that I have it in the correct place if I'm trying to make a shape that is symmetrical. Click done, and on this next shape, after clicking P, you'll notice that that red line is going to appear on that left side of the shape as I create more points that I definitely want to be in parallel with the other side. Let's go here, get that red line showing, red line showing. Let's go ahead and click done and move on to our next set of shapes. This next one's pretty fun. I'm going to hold down Shift for the entire one, and it's okay if you don't have these exactly in that center of those circles. Just try to get as close as you can. All right, let's go ahead and keep going here. Again, they're not exactly in the center of the circles, and that is okay. If you're a perfectionist, do it better than I'm doing. Let's click done. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. Type in P. Hold down Shift. This one spirals inwards, and it is just an absolute delight. Put on some soft jazz and just start clicking and making these awesome lines using Figma's pen tool. Treat yourself. It's kind of like a visual spa day in Figma's pen tool world. Let's go ahead and I'm going to hit enter on this next one to make my chair. Hit P. Let's go ahead and start down here. Let's click here. Click here. Now you have a choice, and this is where I want you to definitely pay attention. I'm going to click down, but I don't want to then go back up into the same vector path. I'm going to hit escape. And now I have that detached from that vector path. Let's go and click on that point that I want to start with and go up to this angle. Let's click and enter and go on over to our house. Let's type in P and go here. Hold down Shift for these first couple of points. Let's go here and here. 45-degree angle does not work. Let's click in the center and let's close that shape up. I'm going to click and drag to move over, click done, I'm going to go downwards just because I can keep holding down shift and work pretty quickly. I'm, as you can see, going a little too fast for the sake of this video and not getting the exact precision that a lot of you are probably very bothered by this very second. Let's go ahead and finish up that house and let's click done. Now these 5 bottom shapes or designs you could try to do on your own. I'm not going to show you how to do them. If you want to challenge yourself, go ahead and try them on out. But if you're feeling pretty comfortable and like this video is right at your level, just go ahead and move on over to the next frame to work with some more curved shapes. Now to create a curved shape with the pen tool, there's some very specific things you're going to need to do. Let's zoom on in just so we can get very close and clear with this first circle. Now, just a warning, I'm not going to be making perfect circles. So if you're like super bothered by that, please fast forward through this section. I'm going to click on this first shape or this first little dot, click on the next shape. You'll see that there's an angle going straight through my circle and it's going to be okay in just a moment. Click and drag and you'll see those handles are actually coming off of the shape. And like you probably guessed, you can hold down shift to get them to be a little bit more precise. Click and let go. You'll see that next vector point or that next vector path that wants to be created already follows the bend of that Bezier handle that's up above. Let's go ahead and click. Do that same exact thing that I did at the top. Click, hold down shift, bring it in as close as you can, and let's let go, and then go ahead and snap it in. Not a perfect circle, but kind of close. Click done, and then go ahead and work on this egg shape. Click in that first point, do the same thing that I did to my circle up there. I'm gonna hold down shift and angle it to be pretty close to the line that I'm trying to follow. I'm going to let go of my click and snap it in right there. Let's do the same, a little bit different of an angle on the bottom. Hold down shift. Let's get it as close to how we want it as possible. Let go of that click and snap it on in. You can hit enter or done. And let's go on to this last egg shape. Let's hit P, click, and hold down shift and drag. This is just the egg tilted sideways, just for some more practice. Let's go ahead and click. Let's hold down shift. There we go. And let's snap that in there. We're done with our first row of curved shapes. The same principles apply to this kind of squiggly shape I have here. Hold down shift. I'm now going to click and drag. Goodness gracious, that is definitely not in the right place. Some of you are absolutely cringing while watching this. I'm going to hold down shift and drag. Oh my gosh, this one's even worse. That's okay. If I'm doing it this bad, don't worry about how yours looks. Again, this is all just for practice. Here we go. Click it up here. Let's click, hold down shift. Oops, I'm going to hit Control Z. And that's kind of an important one. If you make a click and you actually really don't like how it's going, or let's say if you click and it's like way off, hit Control Z and you can go on and just recreate that next vector point with your pen tool. Hold down shift, make this one here. Let's click and let's bring that down. Now I'm going to click done and I'm going to show you how you can make something like this, but a little bit easier and kind of cheat with the pen tool. Click on my pen tool. Let's click here. I'm going to hold down shift and I'm actually going to click outside of all of these shapes. Just hold down shift, looking for that red line. And you'll see that I'm definitely not following the path that I should be, especially on those curves. And I'm only using straight curves right here. So you're probably like, what the heck is he doing? I'm going to go to my select tool. I'm going to left click and drag over all of those vector points and go to my corner radius. And let's go ahead and change that corner radius and make it very large so that all those vector points have a curve to them. And it creates a shape that's a little bit easier to see than just going ahead and clicking. As you can see, my squiggly right here does not look that great. Okay. I'm going to zoom on out. I'm not going to show you any more of the vector paths using the pen tool for this frame. Go ahead and do your best. You do have all of the previous things that I showed you. You can go back and watch those to create these last 2 shapes or squiggles with the vector points on them. And then if you want to challenge yourself, go ahead and try those challenge shapes on the bottom. For this last frame, you're going to be using the pen tool to make some icons. I know these icons are massive if you're thinking about how big icons are, but hey, let's get going. As you saw, it was pretty hard for me to make that perfect circle with a pen tool, so let's use the shape tool to help us out. Grab the ellipse, hold down shift, make it about this large, then go ahead and add a stroke. You're going to take the fill away. I'm going to make the stroke 10, hit enter, and I'm going to make this a little bit, actually no, click to be center. I'm going to make this now a little bit bigger. Bring it in here, and I'm feeling pretty good. Once I have my stroke additive 10, it's in the center. I'm going to edit the object. I'm going to click on the pen tool, and now I can add to that circle to make this icon. How cool is that? I'm going to bring it down here, and I'm going to hit enter. If I zoom in, you'll see that the shape behind that I'm trying to create, the icon handle of my magnifying glass, has a rounded edge. To fix that, you're going to double click back into here, click on that vector point, go to these 3 dots. This is advanced stroke settings. You're going to click on endpoint and make it round. Use those same techniques on your next couple of shapes. And if you want to save some time, go ahead and hit Control D. You've just duplicated that magnifying glass. Hold down Shift, bring it to the next shape you want to work with. Hit Control D again, and you get the point. For the folders, if I'm looking at this icon, I see a shape that I want to use in the Shapes tool just to save me some time. I'm going to grab a rectangle and make the rectangle about this large. I'm going to add a stroke, make sure it's in center, take that fill away, and let's make that stroke width 10 to keep things consistent. Now let's go ahead and edit this stroke, and let's continue adding to it to make the folder icon. I'm going to go to this point, hold down Shift. Let's keep holding down Shift. Let's finish it out here, and let's go there. I'm going to click my Move tool, and I'm going to hold down Shift and select just a few of these vector points. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to round those corners ever so slightly to give it a little bit more of a consistent feel. I'm going to keep this vector point down here at the angle it was created in, and now let's click Done. Do the same thing for this shape. The envelope as well as this icon are a little bit more challenging, but I want you to try them on your own. If you need help, go ahead and look back at this video, rewind it, watch it a couple of times. All of the steps you need to accomplish all of the icons in here have been modeled to you. I hope this helps as kind of a first introduction to Figma's pen tool. It's an awesome tool to help you create awesome things. Have a good time designing.